The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Shelter Insurance Agents Grant Baker in Aurora, Sean Holman in Lockwood, Doak Propane right here in Bolivar, Missouri, Bank of Billings, and Great Southern Bank. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We're pleased to be joined now here as we recognize our national women and girls in sports here throughout the week. We've got volleyball coach Deirdre Smith and our veteran public address announcer and professional Gail Skalicky, who spent a long time in coaching. Ladies, thanks so much for being a part of the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
National Girls and Women's Sports Day was first observed in 1987 to remember the Olympic volleyball player Flo Hyman and acknowledge her as the best female volleyball player of her time and her work in promoting equal representation of women in sports. Hyman died of a genetic disorder, Marfan syndrome, while playing in a volleyball tournament in Japan. So February 2nd has often been recognized since 1987 as National Women in Sports Day. And we'll start with Coach Skalicky. And Coach, we go back a long time, probably 30 years. You've had an outstanding career. You've got a state championship basketball ring. You've been a coach for many years in the area with regards to cheerleading and dance. And now maybe one of the best public address announcers in Southwest Missouri. And you've been doing that for a couple of decades. Tell us a little bit about your history.
Yes. Well, I came to Bolivar in 79 and was volleyball, basketball, and head track coach. And so I was a young, fresh coach out of college and, full of energy and passion and ready to go and loved every minute of it, loved every minute of what I did with the teams we had here, and was very fortunate in my third year to have a state championship basketball team. And I'll never forget the first day I came in to get my keys and to go over to the gym and get in my office and get started. And I had about 3 or 4 girls come busting through the office and said, "When do practices start, Coach? We're ready. We're ready." Well, that was the state championship team girls. They were ready to get at it. So that was exciting. And so that was a good start for me, at the very beginning. And oh my gosh, I did volleyball and basketball and track at all levels, and have really enjoyed every level that I coached at, and had some excellent teams. And I'll never forget, I was coaching the 8th grade team, and we had some really good girls coming up, ready to play and doing really well. And I thought, man, my team's going to go on to high school and they're going to do it again, and this was after our championship team, of course, but we were playing against Marshfield in the COC 8th grade championship, conference championship, and Melody Howard was on that other team. And so I'm telling you, we had some good basketball back then, even at that level, and it was exciting to be a part of that, and enjoyed all my years of coaching. And I took some time off to be a mom for a while and came back and started coaching a little bit of volleyball again. And I had started the dance team back before I, took time off, and got asked to come back and get that going again. Had a real good team for 10 years before I retired, or like I said, started to be a full-time mom. And so I was asked to come back and get back at that. So I got out of the athletic sports side of it and went to the athletic dance team part of it, and coached it for 25 years and had excellent teams. Got some of my pictures of the girls behind me here. Loved it. Really enjoyed it. I had some jury grad, and so I'd had some experience with a great choreographer there at jury, Joyce Roberts, and so I'd had some good dance background and always loved doing that. And so I got that started, had a good program here, and very proud of the girls and the program of what we were able to do. My Electra Blue Dance girls are my heart, but always been involved in sports, grew up playing sports. My dad was one of my biggest influencers, and always played. My brothers played ball, and I was a big softball player. And so I did a lot of softball, but then I got into the PA work, early 2000s, and love it. Love doing it. Love being right in the middle of it and in the middle of the action. And so I've been doing basketball for our boys and girls, for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're part of another state championship in 2006 with Casey Garrison's senior year.
Absolutely.
There at Bolivar.
Yes, got to be the announcer for that team, and oh my, what a ride that was. That was exciting. It reminded me of our team that we had in H2. They were a lot like that, had same mindset, same heart, passion, drive, and willing to pick each other up. If one didn't have a good night, the others were ready to step in. Great team. I mean, it was a very team area that they really pulled out the teamwork aspect of the game. It wasn't how many points can I score, or how many rebounds can I pull down. It's like, I can't do it tonight. You got to help me out. And that was the attitude we've had with our other championship team. So it's been fun. It's been fun to be a part of that, and been here my whole career. So Bolivar's my home. So
You bet. Well, Gail, we appreciate you being part of this, and we'll come back. We want to introduce now from Springfield Public School System volleyball coach Deirdre Smith, and Coach Smith, you've had kind of a unique arrival here to Southwest Missouri, a full-blooded Mohawk Indian, grew up on a reservation. Tell us a little bit about how you arrived in Springfield and what you've been doing since.
Well, I first was brought out here by my pastor when I was in 7th grade. He brought me to Evangel for college days, and I had no idea. I'd never heard of the school or anything, but he told me that he would really like me to give it a shot and come out here and get a degree out here. And he thought that would be a good school for me. And so I knew right away, like when I spent the weekend there, that's where I wanted to go to college. And so I had made that decision early on. And then as I went through athletics in high school, I played volleyball and I played soccer. And I was really a talented soccer player, and I was getting quite a few offers from different coaches in New York State. And Evangel didn't have soccer back then. But my pastor and my grandma were both very big influences in my life. And so they really supported and pushed me to come out here. And so I came, and I graduated from Evangel with a degree in physical education and health in 1999. And I played 1 year at Evangel volleyball. And then after that, after I graduated from Evangel, I decided to stay here. My husband and I decided to stay here. I met my husband at Evangel. And then I substituted for a year, and then I got a position at Reed Middle School here in Springfield. And I taught at Reed for 19 years. And then I've coached JV volleyball at Parkview through the years. I coached a few, like 5 or 6 years over at Springfield Catholic. And then now I'm the head coach over at Hillcrest. I've been there for the last 3 years. But to be able to teach in a school like Reed, the first like 5 or 6 years I coached volleyball, basketball, and track over there. And then eventually I was able just to coach volleyball because I love volleyball. And so not being able to play soccer in the collegiate level was a huge letdown, but I'm very thankful for the path that I took with Evangel because it was the best decision I ever made. And it like kind of threw me into the volleyball world. And when I first started teaching at Reed, I met Sue Daughtery there because her daughter Kyra was an 8th grader. And so it was my first year teaching there, and we got to talking, and she really took me under her wing. And I'm I'm all about loyalty. And so when I started coaching club for Sue, I just stayed with her through the years. I've coached club volleyball for the last 21 years. I took 1 year off to finish my master's. And so once I was done with that, I just been coaching ever since. I was with Club Bear until Club Bear shut down, and then they kind of merged into Apex Volleyball Club. And so I've been with Apex since Club Bear shut down. And Sue she's still my boss over at Apex. When I was real little, my dad died when I was 2. And so my grandma and my mom and my aunt all really kind of mothered me together and took care of me through the years. And they always really pushed me to be in athletics and to go after things that, if I would doubt myself, they would really encourage me. And so when I was able to get the position at Reed, it was very, very much like I could really relate to the kids when they would talk to me and tell me things that they were going through. I could tell them, I've been there myself. And so Reed was a great fit for me for so long in that aspect. We never won the big championships while I was coaching there, but I have so many good relationships with so many past players and students because of the fact that I was able to pour into them rather than just teach them the volleyball skills that I wanted to teach them. And so I feel like that my background is huge for that. Moving over to Hillcrest, it's been the same way. Like a lot of my kids from Reed, I'm seeing at Hillcrest now. And it's been the same way. Like I've just so enjoyed building the relationships with my players. And with that, there also comes trust between my players and myself. And I feel like once they trust you, they will do absolutely whatever they can to give everything they've got. Like I've had so many girls work through so much physically, and they do it because they love the game, because they trust me. And I'm so thankful for stuff like that.
Outstanding. Well, and again, here on this National Women and Girls in Sports Week here at the Missouri Sports Network, and going back to Coach Skalicky, Coach, and just one last question. If you could go back, to when you first came out of Drury, if 2022 Coach Skalicky could go back and give that 1979 Gail some advice, what advice would you give yourself?
I think I would probably say keep up the passion, keep up the excitement, build the relationships, be real. And I always was, I really relate to you, Coach Smith. That's exactly the way I was and am. You build that relationship with those student athletes, and those bonds are, they're hard to break. And I think I would just say, do it even more, do it even more. Be excited, stay excited and just keep sharing, what you can with those young athletes, and the encouragement and, drive to keep reaching for new heights, and keep reaching. There's always something that they can achieve. And there's so much more, as we all know, in athletics that you teach besides the skill, right?
Right.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
long life, long lasting. I would just say, just double up what you were doing. If I was talking to myself that long ago, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long ago, but it's a feeling and a bond. I've got friendships forever. I mean, I see my former athletes; they still call me by my maiden name. When they see me, and I answer to it like that's right. But that's that strong bond you build with those people, and you have it for life. And I enjoyed my time as when I coached, and I was old school and disciplined, but yet, like you said, you build that relationship, and it's gonna carry on for a long time.
Well, very good. And ladies, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this. This has been a great day here at the Missouri Sports Network here as we recognize National Women and Girls in Sports Week. And coming up next, we have a coach from Westminster College, Coach Alicia Washington and Reese Arnold, who are in the green room right now as they're preparing. But Coach Smith, Coach Skalicky, thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. We're gonna send you guys off here into the green room, and we welcome to the show now from St. Louis, Missouri. We have with us Westminster Blue Jays head coach Talisha Washington and our athlete of the week, Reese Arnold. Coach Washington, Reese, we thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Hey, thanks for having us, Guy. I really appreciate you inviting us to be on your show.
Well, Coach, just a little bit here about the Blue Jays. You've won 6 in a row. You're, I believe, 8-1 in the conference, 12-8 overall. Out to a pretty good start. Tell us a little bit about the season.
Absolutely. We're off to a pretty good start right now. We're rolling. At the start of the season, we had a very tough non-conference schedule, faced a lot of ranked teams in Division III. And, we did that to help prepare us for conference play. And it's working right now. So we hope to keep firing on all cylinders.
Coming out of your last win, an 89-54 victory over Principia, now you've got a back-to-back home games with Webster and Greenville. What are the challenges there in front of you?
The challenges, we got going up against two very good teams in the conference. Webster is leading the conference, leading the SLIAC, and they're a great team. They're a great team. They know their identity. They are a pressing team, and that's who they are. They look to turn teams over. I think they're averaging about 30 turnovers a game for opposing teams, and we know that we got to be able to take care of the ball and making sure that we value every possession. And so, those games are huge games for us. In order to take those, we got to be able to defend.
And Coach, before you introduce us to Reese, tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been there at Westminster? Where did you go to high school, and how did you arrive there?
So I'm actually born and raised. I'm from Fulton. So I attended Fulton High School back in 2009. I say 2009, it seems so long ago. But born and raised in Fulton, I went ahead and attended my undergrad at Westminster College here. Played for the former head coach Tracy Braden, and underneath her, we had very successful years at Westminster, able to capture a couple of NCAA tournament runs. And then I was under the former head coach, James Arnold, who is now at Columbia College. I was his assistant for a couple of years. And now, after he left, was promoted to the head coach. And so I've been at Westminster College for about 3 years now.
Outstanding. Well, those great runs you had back then at your time of playing, didn't have anybody do what Reese Arnold did a couple of games ago. Introduce this young lady and tell us a little bit about her and what makes her special.
Oh, Reese Arnold. I could say so much about that kid. She's a phenomenal player. We knew that when she came to this program, which was, I want to say, back in 2018. Reese transferred to us from Lindenwood University. And ever since she's been here, she's just been an impactful player each year. And the amazing thing is just watching her grow throughout her time here. She will go down as one of the best scorers in Westminster history, women's basketball history.
Well, Reese, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Tell us a little bit about your history. Coach mentioned you came from Lindenwood. Where'd you go to high school, and what led you to Westminster?
I went to high school at Washington High School in Missouri. I came to Westminster because I just didn't think Lindenwood was a good fit. So I came here, and I think it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, take us back to the Eureka game on Saturday. Did you know in warm-ups were you feeling it in warm-ups like, okay, everything I'm throwing up's going in?
It just felt like a normal warm-up to me. I don't know. I just came ready to play, I guess.
Now, 45 points was scored in that game by yourself, which is a new school record. So you broke the single-game scoring record. Tell us about the game. Do you know how many you had at half? Did you know you were approaching a record? What was going through your mind as the game went on?
No, I didn't know. I don't really keep track of the points in my head during the games because I'm thinking about everything else. It's just not something that I can keep track of and play at the same time. So I didn't really know until after the game in the locker room they told me.
All right. So they told you in the locker room, kind of after the game. What kind of describe your game? What position do you play, and what do you feel like your roles and responsibilities on the team are?
I'm a shooting guard and a backup point guard. I think one of my main roles on the team is probably a scorer, but I try to play hard on D, and I've been trying to get better at playing defense, but I think my main role is probably scoring.
All right.
And I'll add to it. Reese is she's being humble right now. Reese does a lot of good things for this team, and she when I talked about growth earlier, Reese is also a great teammate. She's every practice. She comes in and she's a competitor. She wants not only herself to get better, but her teammates to get better as well. And that's part of the process that I was talking about, her growing as a player. We know she can score. She knows she can go and get buckets, but it's beyond that, being a great teammate, pushing each other to get better in practice, day in and day out. She's a competitor, hard worker, and she's setting an example for a lot of our underclassmen as well. So she does. Her role on this team is she has many, whether she realizes it or not. So,
what do you do, Reese, as you're getting prepared? Let's say you're playing Webster on Saturday. What are you doing on today right now to kind of get prepared for that game and going into the morning? What are you doing to get mentally and physically prepared?
Well, I'm just kind of thinking of what we need to do. Webster is a team that I want to beat more than anybody, and I think everyone on my team can agree to that. So I think we'll probably, in practice today, we just need to be mentally focused and just compete and know that we're going to have to compete tomorrow to get the win at home because nothing's better than beating them at home. So, yeah.
And Reese, are you junior, senior there? What are you? Are you a COVID senior? How does that work?
Oh, I'm a senior.
Okay. What area of study? What are you attempting to? What degree are you hunting?
Business administration.
Okay. And is there a background, family? I mean, what do you hope to do when you get out?
I'm not really 100% sure. Maybe something to do with real estate, but I don't really know yet.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Reese, on behalf of Chevaliers of the Ozarks, congratulations for being named the Athlete of the Week here as we are we've been spending time all week in our National Women's and Girls in Sport Week. And again, congratulations and thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Coach Washington, I really appreciate setting this up and trusting me with your athlete here. This is interview or episode number 250. We launched on July the 1st. We've been traveling around, and it's always great. You see these records and you see and hear from these coaches, but you never kind of get to look somebody in the eye. And I really appreciate you kind of facilitating this.
Same. I appreciate you guys having us, like I said earlier, and I love your guys' coverage on just Missouri sports. It's just awesome to have.
You bet. Anytime we do anything for you, let us know, and we appreciate you being part of the show today.
Guys, thank you.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com here as we wind down our National Women and Girls in Sports Week here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here, and we'll be back soon.